This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Centre, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. Welcome to Sports City. I'm Simon Preston. Look at what we have here. Look at what we have here. Well, put it this way. In terms of the specific table, it's an exciting time. Just take this moment and look at it. Look at the standings for just a brief moment. And that tells you everything. When you look at the standings, you get an idea of everything. The Barbados Royals at the top of the table, 14 points. So that tells you right there the Tallawahs cannot finish at the top of the table. The St. Lucia Kings, they're second, and they have 8 points. The Tallawahs are third, also with 8 points. It's just the net run rate why the St. Lucia Kings are ahead. Can you imagine if the Tallawahs defeated the Kings earlier in the competition? The Tallawahs would have been on 10 points and the Kings would have been on 6. Completely different game. The Knight Riders, well, 7 points. They're fourth in the table. The St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, well, 6 points, 8 games played. And the Guyana Amazon Warriors at the foot of the table, 6 games played and 3 points. If the Guyana Amazon Warriors wins their last 4 games, 8 plus 3 would take them to 11 points. So they would still have a chance. What would be difficult, though, is if they win 3 and lose 1, then it would come down to net run rate, which is why there's no more margin for error for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. Only 1 win from 8 games this campaign. And truly, if they're unable to win those 4, then do they really deserve to even be at the latter stages of the competition? Well, we turn our attention to Wednesday. And Wednesday, the Barbados Royals will face the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. If the Patriots win, they move up to 8 points. But on the other hand, if the Royals win, they move to 16 points. So pressure will be back on the Patriots for a playoff spot. Later that day, it will be the Guyana Amazon Warriors against the Jamaica Tallawahs. Yes, that is right. So this is a crucial game. A must-win game for the Guyana Amazon Warriors because they know a loss in this game could very well mean an end to their campaign. They can't afford to lose at all. They can't afford to lose at all. And that is why for the Tallawahs, it is important that they put their opponents to the sword. So that is the situation right now as it relates to the Tallawahs. Well, the last time that both teams met earlier in the season, it was the Tallawahs that marched away with a victory. And that victory came on September 3rd at the Warner Park Sports Complex by 4 wickets. Rodman Powell and Chris Green doing the job there. So here's the thing with the Providence Stadium. It's not a ground where high scoring is prominent. You can put 150 on the board and you have a very, very competitive total. So that's something to bear in mind for the Tallawahs. If they get anything, absolutely anything above 150, 155, batting first, they'll win the game. And personally, I would encourage the Tallawahs to bat first on this surface, unless they have the confidence that they can bowl out the opposition for under 120, 110, then fine, bat second. But I honestly feel that it is imperative and important for batting second. The wickets slow and low and turning, and with the spin options in the Tallawahs lineup, the likes of Wasim will certainly love this sort of surface. The change of pace will work for Mohamed Amir. So these are certain things. And for Mohamed Nabi, that is coming into the Tallawahs squad, he is going to thrive in such an environment. So that is something that we can really, really pay a keen and close attention to throughout the course of this encounter in particular. My thought is that if the Tallawahs bat second, then they'll win this game. That's my genuine thought on the matter. And as it relates to the situation with the Barbados Royals, as we know, they're already going to be a team that finishes at the top of the table. So they might rotate in their last two games because they know regardless of the result, they will be marching on and finishing at the top of the table. The key now is if the Tallawahs can finish second, then even if they lose against the Royals in qualifier 1, they'll head to qualifier 2 and play against a team in the eliminator. So they'll have a second bite of the cherry to advance to the final. Well, it might mean an extra game, but it is what it is. But they know if they can beat the Royals, they're going straight to the final. And that is something that they can grasp. That is something that they can be really happy about, fond about. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I feel about this matter in particular. But Sports City fans, what are your thoughts? Brian Martin says, would be a great time to give Jamie Merchant an opportunity. Personally, I think it would be a great opportunity to do it, bearing in mind the type of bowling that he does. And going back to how he performed in the Caribbean T20 prior to the CPL, I'm quite surprised that he has not been introduced in the CPL quite sooner. He's in his 30s right now, and honestly, I feel like his opportunities have been limited, and it's about time that he gets an opportunity, especially on this track in particular. Also, Jamaica Tallawahs might be in a position as they will have to play either James or Mackenzie in these last 3 games too. Well, last 2 games, yeah. Because when you look at it as well, you will also have the qualifier, the eliminator, the qualifier 2, and the final at the Providence Stadium. So potentially for the Tallawahs, you're looking at 4 games and potentially 5 games at the Providence Stadium. So they know very, very well what they have to do. Nicholson Gordon has played too many games, says Brian. I think in the games that he has played, he's done himself well, but I wouldn't want to play him every single game, if you understand what I mean. But I think so far, based on what I've seen from him, he's been decent. I think he's shown exactly what he can do with the ball. But at this stage, I wouldn't say every single game. You whet his appetite, you grow that hunger, that desire as well. You give him that taste of T20 cricket, and I think from there you can move on from this perspective in particular. So, Sports City fans, what are your thoughts? You can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Will the Tallawahs get to the playoffs? Because if they lose both of their games, they could very well be eliminated from the competition, and that's something that they would have to avoid. No, Simon, the emerging players have to play 5 games between them, and so far James has played 2. Have to play 5 games. It is a rule that they have to play 5 games that you're saying. So Joshua James, look, I must say, as it relates to Joshua James, that this in particular, for him to pick up his first T20 wicket against Colin Monroe was absolutely brilliant. And if you ask me, Brian, if you had asked me to choose between James or Mackenzie, then I'll give it to James. Gordon has been going at 11 per over. He lacks variation and he only offers pace in the ball. Yep, I wouldn't play him in terms of every single game at Providence. I think the slow ball will work at Providence, but we can't go in there going pace, 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 pace. Not at all. So that's something that I would consider. James hasn't been given a fair chance either. Bowled 3 overs for 19 runs and he was dropped. Yeah, he got an opportunity to bowl the last over in one of the games where the Tallawahs won already. And there was another game where he picked up that wicket, picking up the wicket of Colin Monroe. So you're right, it hasn't been a fair chance. So I think if you give him 3 overs in the next game, I think that will be fair. Mohammed Amir, my only concern is Miguel Pretorius because he has been quite expensive of late. And I think it might be quite wise to not necessarily drop him, but not use him as the third bowler or the fourth bowler. Shamar Springer is the same type of bowler and better batsman. Yeah, that's true. That's a very, very good point, I must tell you. That's quite a compelling point, I must say, about that team in particular. And as it relates to the Guyana Amazon Warriors franchise, they will have good Akesh Moti, the likes of Shamsi, Tahir, Bersami Parmal, Odin Smith with the pace, Romario Shepard with the pace. So that tells you everything you need to know about them. The game he got the wicket, he could have bowled the last over and the captain chose Reefer. Yeah, Colin Monroe. I think that Rodman Powell, for this experience, it has been a learning curve for him as skipper. Although we know this is not his first season captain in the side, but I do think his management of bowlers is definitely something that needs to be worked on, and it's an area that needs to be tweaked heading into Wednesday. So the team will train today, train tomorrow, and Wednesday, all being well, under the lights. It's something to consider. We have to ponder the dew factor as well at the Providence Stadium. So that's something for us to pay keen and close attention to. Guyana has been woeful this season, but I think they will be difficult to beat at home given their spin options. TKR will be tough to beat as well. Yeah, I think they'll be tough to beat. And the Tallawahs' last game of the competition will be against the Kings before the playoffs. Fresh God, tune in and big up Brian and big up Simon, big up Fresh God. Hope you're doing good. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. So clearly, management of bowlers, one area to consider. Dot ball percentages, another area that needs to be tweaked as well. And finally, rotation of strike. I know it in a sense falls under the spell of the dot ball percentages, but not every ball that you hit has to be a 6 or a 4. We know that we're a physical team. We know that's our culture and our nature. But we have the batsmen that have the ability to rotate the strike. So honestly, I don't feel like it should be a challenge because we do have players that have the ability to rotate the strike. So it's not something that should be ignored by any means necessary. So that's something that we need to consider, something that we need to process and ponder. And hopefully it is something that is implemented because we need to ensure that if we're sent into bat first, we'll put in 145, 150, 55 on the board. Django should be dropped. Yeah. I think only one game with the Batties really got going. But again, his strike rate, again, is something to consider. Dew is going to be a factor as well, but Wazim and Green won't be affected. They don't spin the ball a great deal, plus they tend to bowl when the ball is a lot newer and easier to grip. Yeah. Yep, that's the situation. I expect Wazim to be good. Yeah. Jamar Brooks has been a real meltdown so far. He was the player we're looking up to. Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him. Django is the keeper unless you're going to use Brooks or Lewis to keep, but I think Lewis is injured. I think Lewis should be fit in time, if not for the Guyana game, then certainly the game against the St. Lucia Kings. So that's something for us to consider. So yeah. Tallawahs didn't do a great job in the auction as well. I honestly feel like we didn't sufficiently replace Andre Russell. I know he's not in a great nick of form despite hitting a couple of boundaries last night, but I still feel though that in terms of the balance of the squad, that it has not been there. And if I'm being completely frank with you, in terms of the balance of the squad, personally, I think 2015, 2016 was the last time that I feel like there was a balanced unit together. 2015, I think the only thing that was missing was Asanga Kara. 2016, of course, was brilliant by going on to win the title. But I still feel, though, that the balance of the squad, that is something that needs to be improved heading into the 2023 season of the competition. That needs to be addressed. It's something that has to be viewed as a priority. So, CPL 2013 to 2016, for me, those were you could say, the bountiful years of the Tallawahs, the joyful years for the Tallawahs where there was success. So that has to be considered. So just bear that in mind. So, Sports City fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Tallawahs will get to the playoffs of the competition? Let me know your thoughts of how you think they will do. Because many can say they're crumbling a bit, but one more victory can do the job. JTP, Gordon, Springer, and James all are the same player and won't all play. They found have gone for our next battle too much dependent on Powell, Allen, and Brooks, and Allison has really clicked. He hasn't really clicked with either Butter or Ball, Brian. He hasn't really clicked with either Butter or Ball, and many people, including myself, said why wasn't he in the T20 squad picked for the World Cup? But we got our answers. Form. But you have certain players that turn up when it's the big game or turn up in the latter stages of a competition. Let's hope that is something that is changed. All right, yeah, man. All being well, if not for the game on Wednesday, then perhaps the game on Sunday. But post game on Friday, after the Guyana Amazon Warriors game, we can do that. All right, bro? Yeah, man. After the game on Wednesday. Yeah, after the game, for sure. Alan was out for a while, bro. He had lost his dad and things took a turn. I was aware of the situation with the dad. So thank you for the reminder. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, man, Brian. So after the game on Wednesday against Guyana, you can hop on the stream. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with so much more. And don't forget to subscribe to Sports City for more content, guys.
This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471.